So coming here from Milan yesterday, I was thinking why from Milan and from a French company that is not active in UK, I should come here speaking about e-commerce in a country that is more mature than Italy. And most important, why you are here. Why are so many people is interested in understanding what is doing Carrefour in Italy, why your market is so advanced compared to us. Two answers for me. So for me, for sure, it's useful to be here because it's a way to look at the future. Because as we can show, the Italian market is really away from UK in terms of maturity, volumes, and also services, compared to everything is e-commerce, O2O, omnichannel, and so on. But I think it also could be interesting also for you, because if it is true that driving you need to look ahead, sometimes you need to look also in the mirror to understand what is understanding behind you, to understand if everyone is doing the same things when you, if someone is going to change patterns, to change path, to look at a different speed. And also for many of you that are service provider or logistic provider or provider of everything, looking at different markets in Europe could be an opportunity to understand when, how is an opportunity for you to enter new markets. Because you know that the speed is very fast to change, so entering in a new market in the right time is key. If you enter too fast, there is no more market for you. If you enter too later, you are losing the opportunity. So I hope, also if there is nothing specific new in what Carrefour is doing, is something that is similar to what probably most of UK retailers they have done some time ago. I think it's also a way to compare and interact with us to understand if we are doing it the same way or in different ways. What we are seeing in the next 20 minutes or 25. A very short overview about Carrefour Italy. I don't know if every one of you knows exactly what we are, which is the e-commerce scenario, a short comparison between penetration in UK and Italy, which is the click and collect service that we are, the e-delivering that Carrefour Italy is doing, and some just one page of conclusion. So what about Carrefour? Carrefour in Italy is a reality with 1,100 different stores, different formats, in most of the Italian region. Is approximately 7% of the market share, 20,000 people. In terms of formats, we manage hypermarkets, cash and carry, markets, supermarkets, and convenience. In both convenience and supermarkets, we manage both integrated store and franchisee. Approximately 800 of our stores are managed by third parties, by franchisee. And as you can see, we are in most region of Italy, but mainly in northwest of Italy. So we are not present with our store in all the region of Italy. Which is the e-commerce scenario at the moment in Italy. Okay, this is not specific about Italy. This is mainly the what we are looking as today a threat for Italy, for retailing in general, for brick and mortar, because Carrefour is mainly brick and mortar at the moment. So the risk that in some years from now, 50% of the market could be online. But most important, that the rest, the portion, the other 50% will be done in any case interacting online. So also the offline sales, we expect, not only we, is something that everyone is expecting to be in this way, will be done using a sort of interaction with some social, mobile, or internet interaction with our clients. So what we are thinking about is not just how to compete with a pure e-commerce, but mainly how to interact with our clients in an omni-channel way and in an integrated experience. Some very short data about web index. As you can see, UK is on the top of this list. Italy is in the middle of a wave. So at the moment, in terms of e-commerce penetration, you can see as we are really back, but for operators, it's also an opportunity. It means we have still a big piece of cake that someone is going to take in the future. In terms of social media, we are not so far. In terms of social media, it is typical when some markets is going to try to recover, and also depending on the penetration of mobile. So Italy is one of the markets where mobile has a huge penetration in the market. So the social media use is not so far like e-commerce. So it means that also mobile commerce will be more relevant for Italy in the future than pure e-commerce if compared to UK market. This is difficult to be seen, but you just to look at the small red elements. In this case, if we are looking at mobile commerce, the two markets are really more similar. In Italy, we are speaking about 16, in UK, 18. So if you switch from e-commerce, mobile use, mobile commerce, the difference between the two markets are really reducing. It means there is area of opportunities where we can compare the two markets. Which is our major concern as brick and mortar. What we really want to avoid, if this is specific for category killer, but in some case applying also to our business, to avoid the showrooming effect. So you know that in the past, in the recent years, many customers will look at the e-commerce, at generally internet, as a source of information in order to decide what to buy. And in some cases, after they came into when they have selected the store, when we want to buy, they go in the store in order to touch the products, to have some feeling, to try the products, and then to buy. But they are rapidly moving to another way to act that is mainly to use the opposite, the store, as the showrooming, to try the product, to select the product, to have some information from the people in the store, and then come back to the online to buy at a better price. This is for us, for all the category killers, a huge risk, because we keep all the costs, we create information, we give information to clients, and then we create a showrooming for all our pure e-commerce retailers that don't need to have a store, but they can have a cost structure that gives them the opportunity to sell at a better price. So for us, it's key to maintain the stores, but to give the opportunity to our client to have an additional offering and services. I saw that you have, if you want to move, I saw that you are disturbed by the sun. I saw the sun is not so frequent in UK, but there is still space, so you can move around. In terms of approach, what we don't want to do is to move our existing client in the offline channel to the online, because we don't want to take the same piece of a cake and just to move in another place, also because it's only an additional cost for us. What that our brick and mortar retailer are trying to do is to increase the size of a cake, try to add additional services and way of interact with clients in order to bring additional clients, especially those clients that are near our store, clients that work or live near our store, our physical network, and that we can use as a way, as a contact point for every type of service we can provide, not just products. What is Click before, which is the context where Carrefour Italy is living? We have not approached Click like just as a way to sell products to our clients. As I said before, we want especially to attract new clients. To attract new clients, we need to be social, we need to communicate. So what we started recently is trying to be more social involved. In 2014 in Italy, We have been named the most social company. Why? Not because we are bigger, not because we have more clients or more contact, but because of the way we interact and the fast way to interact with a lot of social network with our clients. So we are doing a lot of advertising, interacting with Facebook, Twitter, and other events that give us the opportunity not necessarily to have an additional client immediately, but to create an image of modernity, to increase our brand image in some network, but we think in the future we create the opportunity to, when we are going to roll out in all our stores, additional way to bring client to buy a name in their head that will help understand our new services. How we interact with our clients on a three dimension. First dimension is our traditional brick-and-mortar elements. So we have a different range of assortments, from hypermarkets to a convenience store. In Italy, we manage stores from 80 to 6,000 square meters. So we have a huge difference in terms of assortments. The other elements is the service and interaction. So we move from the traditional retail to all the social network, but also we are opening stores that are open 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Nothing new for UK market, something new for Italian market. We are the only brand with some stores with these type of services. And in terms of time saved, so the dimension of how much time people spend to buy, we range from the hypermarkets, where typically you need to move with a car, to spend time, to give a lot of time to do your shopping, to the lockers. We have a partnership with Impost and TNT, where you can really buy offline, online, and you can collect your things in the store, but where you want, when you want, 24 hours a day, also when the store is closed, with a really flexible use of your time. These are the 6 pillars of our strategy, comparing to, for what regards the digital strategy. So we are not just looking at the top left, that is the e-commerce, click and collect, what we are speaking today. But we want to look at this as one pillar that need to be consistent with all the other elements. First of all, we said how we interact in terms of consumer engagement and acquisition. So everything about social, everything about how we communicate with our existing and potential customer. We have strengthened the in-store communication. So when you are in store, you have free Wi-Fi, and you have the opportunity to stay connected with everything is related to Carrefour and with your specific social network. We are creating some store when you can directly interact, for example, with an extended range. In order to avoid that you need to move from your traditional store to get all the assortment you want, we are creating some totem or other instruments that give you the opportunity to buy all the Carrefour assortment everywhere. So also in small store, you can have access to all the assortments being delivered in store or at home. But in any case, our key strategy is to leverage the store, the point of sales, as point of contact. So creating everything around the store. So what is the click and collect solution for Carrefour? Is an O2O solution. So our target is to bring clients from online to offline. So order online, collect in store. At the moment, collect in store and pay in store, so when the store is open. But we are working in order to give the opportunity to the client to collect when the store is closed, using the lockers. So refrigerated lockers and so on. Without additional cost, so the same pricing, the same assortments that the store has, the same promotion, and obviously saving time. Those are just some screenshots.
typically the way you can select the products. Just to give you this in the bottom left, our key patterns is to give the client the opportunity to collect in the store. Why? Not just because we want to keep the relationship with the client, but also because in our figures, we are looking that more than 80% of the people is buying something additional. So it's not just buying what is in the shopping list that they buy online, but they are integrating with typically fresh products, with fresh and vegetables, meat, fish, something that probably they want still to look and to choose themselves. So for us, this is an opportunity to sell additional things. But there is also the opportunity to send at home. It's not something we push a lot because, for sure, it's a nightmare for everyone to do the last mile. So it's an additional service we provide as an additional cost, except for the huge shopping chart. But in any case, it's limited because the picking is done in the store. It's limited to a range of kilometers around the store. It's not everywhere in Italy. We have not dedicated warehouses or dark store. At the moment, our click and collect is done using the store as a picking point and using the people in the store as the people doing the picking. So for our clients, the goal is to reduce the time to shop, limited cluttering effect, order everywhere, every time, no additional cost, and reduction of impulse purchasing. Sometimes for us this is negative. Obviously, people don't buy the same things that they buy in-store and online. You know that typically there is more rational buying based on a shopping list, choosing not always the same article, but typically staying on the list, while where they buy online, offline, they typically are more impulse-driven, so also the type of article they buy is different. For us, which are the benefits for us? As we said, we are using, when you start doing click and collect, you select the store. Selecting the store, the pricing, the assortment applied is one of the stores. So for us, it's the same process in terms of defining pricing and assortment. It's not a specific process, so no specific activities. We have no additional fixed cost, typically no added logistics, if not the cost of labor. Cost of labor in some way is optimized by the fact that we ask for some hours to do the picking, so we can plan it. And also, at the moment, our clients are not typically asking to prepare in 1 hour or 2, but typically they order to collect or the day after or after 6-7 hours. This gives us opportunity during the day to use the same people in the store to prepare, so with no additional costs except big volumes. And obviously, the last element is the most important for us. We want to keep the relationship with the client, especially for small stores. So keep the knowledge of the client. At the same time, we don't want to choose. We don't want to force the client to choose the way to collect the shopping. So we are giving them 3 different ways, they are not at the same stage of maturity. So the first one is the one that is already available, so click and collect in-store with opportunity to add articles, to pay at the store, but with the requirements to park, for example. But you can also work if you are near home or near the office. Drive is a solution that is really a strong development in France, especially for a strong competition on that. As you know, you don't need to park. You park the car, but you just wait for it. You can pay on when you collect, but typically you can't add items if you are not entering the store. So losing the opportunity to reduce time. And the last one that we are starting introducing, I know it's not new for you, but we are using typically the same operators,
In 50 stores, we have the impulse lockers. At the moment, they are used only for pure e-commerce, so it is not typically for things that the client are buying in Carrefour. So for us, it's just a way to drive traffic and to provide additional services. But in the future, we are planning to use that for click and collect. So if you want to collect outside of business hours of a store, we expect to use that refrigerated and also for fresh food to bring a client also to collect their shopping. Short comparison, our view, so is not something you can take as scientific, but is a Carrefour view. Comparison between click and collect and pure e-commerce. In terms of investment, for us, obviously, click and collect is better because we use the same infrastructure, the same people, the same marketing, so we just have some IT development, but for the rest, we typically use our fixed asset for additional, we hope, additional volumes. As regards labor cost, there is an additional labor cost, but we think, so the picking is done in both the activities, but as the opportunity we have to leverage the existing people in the store, we have, I think, some, if the volumes are not occupying the total time of the people, we have the opportunity to do synergies between store activities and picking. Logistic cost, we have not the last mile. So having no the last mile, we have some logistic cost, the internal logistics for the store. We need to keep all the shopping chart inside, but it's not the delivery of the last mile. Advertising, we need to do both. Why? Because as we said, we want to bring additional client. We are not just selling the service to existing client, will cost nothing, but we want to bring new clients with this service. So as we need to communicate to other people that are our clients, we need to do advertising the same time, at the same type than e-commerce. Margin investments is the same. We are using the same pricing promotions. We try to be obviously comparable with e-commerce price, so it's the same type of margin we need to use to attract the customer. Incremental revenue, less. Why less? Because obviously we are going to cannibalize part of our clients. And so at the moment we think the activity contribution will be high. So also this is not real statistics, it's typically just illustrative. A pure e-commerce as an investment, as an initial strong investment to create new capabilities, while for us, that we have already assets starting with and click and collect based on existing assets at the beginning. When you are using the same assets, you are not going to have additional investments. So the incremental revenue is giving you a beneficial ROI. But as volume increase, you can really create some, you leverage your assets, create a volume optimization, while in the click and collect based on the existing store, you need to create additional investments. You need to create a specific dark store or specific labor force in or drive in order to manage the deliveries. Conclusion. Which are the key message? For online, for pure play, for traditional retailers, online retail pure players are big threat. Traditional retailers are developing omni-channel because we can't manage clients separately. We need to leverage our knowledge of a customer base. We have more than 3 million clients in Italy where we know everything about the fidelity cards, so we need to leverage of information to bring clients in an omni-channel path. Supply chain is a critical element. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm a supply chain director for Carrefour Italy. So for us, understanding how to deliver to clients in lockers, at home, or in the store, so understanding which could be the future of delivery, not by parcel, but by piece, is a key element of cost and success. Traditional retailers use store as delivery point, developing click and collect strategy, so we don't want to enter the pure player
e-commerce. We have not the cost structure. We need to leverage our assets that are the physical store. So we want to we want those stores to become center of services for our client. Home delivery could be an option for customer willing to pay. It's something in additional services for free only really with big volumes of shopping. Giving more delivery option at the opposite, so what we have seen before, drive, click and collect, lockers, is not a choice between the three for us. We want to give a choice to the customer to select the way they want to receive their products. The target is to expand sales, not to deliver the same sales in a different way, because for sure will be an higher cost. So we want to give more services in order to increase our customer base. Last but not least, strong CRM on prospect is a key area of investment required to succeed. Someone before this morning said that the big data is one of the key elements for all these strategic levers. I think so. So I think that before the shopping and after the shopping, understanding the client, understanding the specific pattern, the specific way to interact, and collect all the information of what the client has done in all the way to interact is the key things to succeed. Thank you.